In a black car, three men are on their way to a meeting of mafia families to broker a truce and unify their families. A rival family has demanded $500,000 as a peace offering, which the men supposedly have with them. They arrive at their meeting location, which turns out to be a base of operations. Lucero steps out and then asks his brother and hitman, Maximo, to stay behind so as not to spook the men. Lucero heads to the office with his bag to meet with the rival leader. He explains that he met with the man's son and discussed all the details of the merger of the families and what offices they would hold. Lucero then shows him the bag, but before opening it, the boss decides to make a toast to their venture. The boss then checks his money, but screams in shock upon seeing the head of his son. Lucero then holds a gun to his head, forcing him to order his men to stand down. Downstairs, Maximo and the other man swiftly kill the guards. Seeing his brother surrounded, Maximo opens fire, killing two men before an intense shootout erupts. As Lucero sits and hides, Maximo takes out all the men. Lucero then shoots the head in the bag, then lies to Maximo that their rivals double-crossed them, all to cover his tracks. Maximo and Lucero then team up to take out the remaining men inside the warehouse in a chaotic scene. Their father and mafia leader, Ricardo, who is on his way to the meeting, gets the call about the supposed double-cross. After a brutal scene where Lucero kills even the workers in the warehouse, causing even Maximo to turn away, he tells Lucero that maybe he is going too far. Lucero tells him that everything will be okay and he will speak to their father. Tonight was supposed to be Maximo's last night working as a hitman, and Lucero urges him to rest with his family as he has deserved it. The two hug and say their goodbyes. Maximo gets home to his son Ander and tells him to get ready as they are finally leaving. He pays the babysitter who goes outside and collects payment from a hit team parked outside Max's home. Ricardo and his men arrive at the warehouse where Lucero tries to spin his web of lies to his father, but the wise Ricardo can smell the bullcrap from a mile away. Ricardo scolds Lucero for his reckless and unbecoming actions, even coughing up a fit. He warns Lucero that things will change from now on, but Lucero gives the go-ahead to one of the men who then brutally kills the others. Lucero then pulls a gun, telling his father that he will be taking over from now on. He then makes his father choose where he gets the fatal shot, but when Ricardo tells him to shoot him in the head, Lucero shoots him in the chest and watches him die. Maximo and Ander are cleaning up to go when Ander realizes that men are in the hallway. The men barge in, but Maximo is on their asses and takes on the men as they try to rush into the house. The men are endless, and as Maximo is fighting, he is suddenly shot twice by Lucero's man, Finito. Finito reminds Maximo how he caused his brother to die, and despite Maximo begging for his son's life, Finito opens fire, killing Ander as Maximo screams in anger. Finito then causes a massive explosion to cover his tracks before reporting to Lucero about the completed job. 2 years later, we meet a young man named Leo and his girlfriend, Daniela. Leo sells illicit substances to his schoolmates to make money. At night, they pass by a garage where inside, a man that looks much like Maximo trains vigorously, but the young couple thinks he is just a weird man. Leo returns home where he hands the cash he made to his mother, lying that he got a job at a garage in town. It is his younger brother Tommy's birthday, who is bummed about not getting a present. Leo then surprises Tommy with a gaming system, and Tommy hugs him happily, thanking him for the gift. Later, Leo gets a call from his dealer, Jero, who tells him to head over to a club that is just outside their gang's territory. Leo arrives and begins to deal, but the guards spot him and decide to alert their boss. As Leo is leaving, he is attacked by two men who warn him to stop dealing on their turf and try to take his bag. Suddenly, a shadowy figure calls out to the men. The men try attacking, but the figure easily takes them out with fast moves. The man walks away, and Leo goes after him to thank him for saving his life. He then realizes that it's the man in the garage and thanks him outside the door. As he turns to leave, the man, Maximo, drags him inside. Leo looks around the garage, amazed at Maximo's living conditions. Maximo helps Leo clean up his wounds, where Leo tells him about his abusive father and him trying to keep his family afloat by getting involved with bad people and stuff. After Leo leaves, Maximo looks over a guitar he gifted Ander and is plagued by thoughts of vengeance. He has been tracking Lucero for the past 2 years and has finally gotten a lead on his location. At an underground Chinese casino, Lucero's men, led by Finito, wipe out the guards swiftly before demanding to know where the boss named Papa San is. No one in the crowd speaks, so Lucero shoots a random man dead. Lucero then spots a famous professor named Mr. Miyagi and is about to shoot him dead before Papa San stops him. Papa San turns out to be a woman, which amuses Lucero. Lucero then talks to Papa San over a video call, demanding that he be allowed a seat at the next gathering of the Mafia families called the Conclave and be appointed its leader. Papa San refuses, remembering Ricardo as an honorable man and calling Lucero a snake, which causes Lucero to announce a hostile takeover. Finito then punches Papa San and slams her into a table, brutally killing her. The next day, Leo stops to visit Maximo and helps him tune an old guitar that once belonged to Ender. Leo hopes that one day Maximo will teach him a few of his moves, but Maximo thinks they should start right away. The two begin working out together, with Maximo showing Leo a few martial arts moves. Leo then decides to leave, but he is being watched. Lucero then hatches a plan to take over the Russian Mafia as well, which will put him one step closer to being the leader of the Conclave, and sends his man to instigate a war. Leo then gets a call from Jero, who tells him to head to the Russian club to deal, promising that the Russians know better than to attack him again, but Leo refuses to go and hangs up. That night, Jero and his men spot Leo and chase after him through the streets where a parade is taking place. He almost gets away, but gets cut off by Jero in his car. Jero holds a gun to Leo, accusing him of making more cash on side deals at his expense. Leo denies this, but Jero ignores him and slams his hand in the car brutally. Maximo is at the garage when he hears banging on the door. At the door is Leo's girlfriend, Daniela, who hasn't seen Leo in a while. She knows that he has been taking money from Jero and is worried that he may be hurt. This news worries Maximo as he thinks about his new friend. He sends Leo a text asking for his location and finds Leo sitting alone in a church. He sees Leo's damaged hand and learns of the attack from Jero. Maximo scolds him for stealing from the men, but Leo thinks he doesn't have a choice. Leo refuses to go to the hospital, not wanting his mother to find out about his activities. Leo then contacts Maria, Ricardo's old assistant and adopted daughter, who has been working with him all along to track Lucero down. She scolds him for wasting time with Leo when they have more important things to do. Maria then reluctantly agrees to help Leo out with his injury, not before reminding Maximo to focus. That night, Jero and his men arrive at the Russian club and Jero heads to the bathroom alone. Maximo finds him there. Jero plays tough until Maximo slams his head into the mirror. His men come barging in, but one gangster recognizes Maximo and leaves. The others try attacking, but Maximo beats them down without releasing Jero. He demands to know who Jero works for, continuing to batter the men as they try to come at him again. Jero gives up the name Urquiza and gives up his location. Maximo finishes off the guys with his skills before grabbing Jero's hand and smashing it in the door. Maximo goes to visit Maria. The two have a sparring session where she again scolds him for putting 2 years of work at risk for Leo, but Maximo insists that he is just a kid. She has found out the location and date of the next conclave meeting where Lucero will be present. She notes the importance of catching him now, or he might become too powerful if he takes over the conclave. The two continue to spar for a while, where Maximo tells her about Urquiza and she plans to check him out. We then see Finito visiting a beaten Jero and laughing at him, thinking it was the Russians who got to him. Jero tells him about the skilled old man that kicked his butt defending Leo and even about his goon that ran away upon seeing the man. Jero finally remembers his name, and instantly Finito gets serious. Finito then smothers Jero to death on the spot. Leo is with Maria and Maximo, but he is tired of hiding and wants to return home. Maximo follows him but spots a gangster posted outside his apartment and swiftly kills him. Maximo follows Leo to his apartment, and Leo heads inside, only to be greeted with the grim sight of his brother dead on the floor. Finito and his men then surround him. Leo yells in anger, and Maximo bursts into the room and kills a few men. He and Finito then face each other and fight, but Finito manages to stab him in the stomach. Leo then fires at Finito, wanting to kill him, but Maximo tries to talk him out of it. Finito uses the opportunity to grab Maximo around the neck. Leo hesitates, but when he sees his mother dead also, he lets off shots, forcing Finito to escape. Maximo takes the gun from him, then hushes the traumatized Leo. Later, Maria patches Maximo up and gets mad when she learns that Finito saw his face and thinks their plan is foiled. Leo is still in tears over the loss of his family, thinking that neither of the two understand what he is feeling. Maria explains to him that they both lost their father and Maximo's son was also killed by them. Later, Maria tells Maximo that she thinks they should just leave to avoid any more loss, but Maximo, now trimmed, is now determined to get revenge. Maria hacks Urquiza's phone and learns that Finito plans to launch an attack on Maximo. He has not revealed Maximo to Lucero, wanting to clean up the mess he should have years ago. The men soon pull up to the garage, and Maximo loads a nail gun. He begins to take out the men from the shadows and avoids their gunfire like a ghost. More men rush in, but Maximo kills 3 by throwing screwdrivers into their heads. He picks up a wrench and works his way through the constant stream of men, making sure they never stay down. 2 men jump him and beat him back, but Maximo picks up another wrench and dual wields them against the men. His next weapon is a saw which he uses to slice through his attackers. The fight leads into a car, where he is grabbed around his throat with a chain, but Maximo throws the car into drive and the car's momentum causes the man to be thrown through the windshield. Maximo leaves, and Maria tells him about Urquiza and the club he manages, which is a cover for Lucero's money laundering operation. Maximo pulls up to the back of the club and brawls his way inside. Maximo then releases fog into the club, and Urquiza sees him and sends his men after him. Maximo easily and skillfully takes out the men before cornering Urquiza and slapping him down a flight of stairs. Out back, Maximo kills the men loading Lucero's cash, leaving 1 man to load it all into Maximo's trailer. After, Lucero's man named Rafa comes to meet a beaten Urquiza, who tells him that Maximo left a message for Lucero, asking him head or heart. He shows Rafa a cell phone Maximo left behind, which he will contact Lucero on in 24 hours, who has to be in the country in that time or he will lose all his money. Maximo returns to the hideout where it's revealed that he got shot in the attack, and Maria removes the bullet from his wound. Lucero arrives in the country, having received the message and wants whoever sent the message to say it to his face. He arrives at his base where his men have Urquiza being held. He is angry about his missing $98 million and demands to know every detail about the man who took it. Urquiza tearfully tells him it was all caught on tape and swears he said nothing to anyone. He thinks he is getting off, but Lucero hands him a blade, ordering him to cut out his own tongue. Urquiza cannot bring himself to do the deed, so Lucero angrily holds him and stabs him in the act, killing him. Lucero takes the cell phone from him and leaves. Maria has located where Urquiza was being held, but is asleep when Leo grabs a gun and sets out to get his revenge. He encounters 2 men carrying away Urquiza's body and holds them at gunpoint, demanding to know where Finito is. Suddenly, Finito ambushes and disarms him, and begins to beat him brutally, before demanding to know where Maximo is. Lucero's right-hand man Chul encounters them and hears Leo tell them that Max will kill them and goes to inform Lucero. Finito goes to kill Leo, but Maria, who had been tracking Leo, speeds up and sends Finito flying. Maria then rushes to Leo and helps him into her car. She drives back to their hideout, unaware that a gangster has followed them. Finito and Lucero talk about Maximo being alive, and he is angry at Finito, knowing the trouble he is in, but Finito promises to take care of the problem. Finito gets the location of Maximo's hideout and sets off with some men. Chul tracks down Maximo's hideout and breaks in. He comes face to face with Maximo, who holds a gun to him, calling him a traitor for abandoning Ricardo. Chul had always respected Maximo, even thinking he would be the next boss. Out of respect, both men lower their weapons. Chul attacks with some fast kicks, catching Maximo with some powerful blows and knocking him down. Maximo fights back, but is barely able to stand against Chul, who sends him flying to the ground floor. Maximo is getting wrecked, his injured leg not making it any better. Chul throws him through 2 glass windows, and an injured Max begins to back away. Chul is angry at Max for not taking over, but is loyal to the Mafia and decides to bring Lucero's cash back to him. Maximo lures him forward before slashing him with a knife, causing Chul to fall, then piercing him through the neck with the blade, killing him. Lucero arrives at the conclave meeting when he gets a call from Chul's phone, but hears Maximo breathing. Lucero yells at him to show his face and have some honor, but Max does not respond. Max then sets out and gets a message from Maria that Leo is in the hospital after Finito's attack. Maria has decided to walk away from her quest for revenge and take Leo with her, unable to stand the violence anymore. Max sees Leo, who apologizes to him for going off on his own, but Maximo thinks he was very brave for trying to avenge his family. Maximo then arrives at the conclave meeting, and all Lucero's men are alerted. He begins to slice up the incoming men who decide to put down their guns and attack with blades. Maximo disarms a gun from one man and begins to take on the armed guards. After wiping out the last set of guards in a hail of bullets, Maximo encounters Rafa, who holds a gun to him. Out of bullets, Maximo stares down the barrel, but Rafa instead tells him that Lucero is waiting for him. Just then, one of the injured guards pulls a grenade pin, and the explosion kills Rafa, but Maximo escapes the blast. He enters what looks like a club, gun drawn, but sees Lucero sitting there waiting for him. Lucero calls him brother, but this infuriates Maximo, who refuses the title. He also reveals that he has always been jealous of Ricardo and Maximo's relationship. Ricardo had gone soft, and Lucero thought that he was best to control the Mafia and Maximo's family were loose ends. Maximo declares that he is here to kill Lucero, so Lucero hands him a samurai sword, and the two men face each other and draw their blades. Both men are fast with the blade, parrying every move the other throws. Lucero then gets a cut in and kicks Maximo from the platform, but he rises once more to face his brother. This time, Maximo cuts Lucero with each slash of his blade. Lucero tries to come back, but Maximo is too fast and disarms him. Lucero begs him to wait, then calls in Finito, who comes in with Maria at gunpoint. Maximo is now forced to drop his blade, and Lucero begins to beat him. Finito is distracted, so Maria disarms him, and the two shoot at each other. Maria then manages to push Finito from the second floor, but the fall knocks the wind out of her. Lucero orders him to finish off Maximo, while he grabs Maria, calling her sis. Instead of just killing Maximo, Finito again begins to hit him with heavy punches. Maximo then sees Finito about to set Maria on fire and manages to catch Finito's punch and finish him with a punch to the sternum. Maria then attacks Lucero, and Maximo joins in. Lucero blocks a few punches, but the two jump him. Lucero is on his knees, and the two pull blades and place them to his head and heart, asking him to choose. The two then stab him together, getting revenge for everyone Lucero has slaughtered. We then see Leo leaving the hospital with both Maria and Maximo and Lucero's money. Leo gets in the car and leaves with the two, and it's revealed that he left a bag of cash for Daniela.
Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more movies like this. Thanks for watching.